Okay, so hi everyone, it's Amanda from Taylor Transformations, and we are back with another amazing wellbeing business. So I will let her introduce herself. Over to you, Emma.
Hello, I'm Emma Harris, and I am an EMDR therapist.
Fantastic. And can you tell us a little bit more about what it is that you do? Go into a bit more.
Yeah, so I've worked for the NHS for 20 years, and in
Wow,
September just gone, I decided to kind of branch out and be self-employed and focus on building up my EMDR therapy practice. So that's what I'm doing at the
fantastic.
moment in
That's
Falmouth.
amazing.
So by the sea. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. And how did you get where you are today then? What led you to from the NHS to EMDR?
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a wiggly path actually, and I feel really, really fortunate to be where I am. I qualified as a mental health nurse 20 years ago, so
Fantastic.
always interested in people and kind of understanding people, but quite a medical kind of focus on things originally.
Yeah,
Um, I worked in the psychiatric hospitals for a couple of years, and then with young people with psychosis, and then in perinatal mental health. And it was while I was there that we just needed someone to be able to deliver EMDR. So I was just so lucky that it was at the right place, kind of right timing. And so I did my training, and I just feel so lucky to be able to do that with people. So I stayed in the perinatal team for about 7 or 8 years, and have just recently kind of moved out to working privately.
wow. So is that a big difference
Yeah.
then?
Yeah, well, I suppose for me, being self-employed is a huge difference, having always worked for the NHS. But it means I work with such a variety of different people now as well, rather than quite a small population group. So that's just been really interesting, like for myself. But shall I
Yeah,
explain a little bit about what EMDR is
please
and
do. That'd be amazing.
yeah, okay. So it stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which is why nobody ever says that because I'm amazed I actually managed to say it without tripping up. But it's a trauma therapy. So most of the research is with PTSD, although you can use it for lots of different kind of presentations.
Yeah,
Um, but really, it's there's lots of acronyms and stuff, but the theory underneath it is called adaptive information processing, AIP,
okay.
which basically believes that we all know how to heal ourselves, that like our minds and our bodies, they know how to recover, they know how to repair. But sometimes things happen that are just too big, too overwhelming, and that natural kind of healing ability gets disrupted. And so EMDR kind of supports that, it guides that natural process that people have. And it gets a bit complicated, and the science bit is so interesting. You can go off and kind of look at it all, but in a really simplified way. We think that like everybody has the information they need to heal and recover, but it's in one part of their brain and the traumatic kind of dysfunctional stuff is in another part of your brain, and they're sort of
Yeah,
prevented from joining. You can't access it. So EMDR allows that kind of access to take place so that people can recover and repair and heal. And we do that with bilateral stimulation, which is what makes EMDR a bit different from
yeah,
most talking therapies. And that just means the side to side movement. So it can
yes.
be with your eyes, so like following my fingers or the fancy light bar that we have, or buzzers. There's sort of a vibrating sensation you can have, or sounds, or just kind of tapping like this. So
That's
whatever way
amazing.
you do it, it's just the side to side processing that kind of accelerates that natural healing process. And this is a really simple example as well, but I always think it's like if you have a little wound on your hand, your body knows what to do. It will repair that, it will heal and recover. But if there's something in there, a splinter or a bit of debris or something, it's prevented, it's kind of disrupted from doing what it would naturally do until we remove that, and then your body can get on and do what it needs to do again. So, in a
Amazing.
really simplified way, that's kind of what EMDR is doing. It's allowing us to heal and process when we've been prevented from doing so. Does that kind of make sense? And
It
yeah,
does. That's such
yeah,
an amazing explanation. That explained so much. I knew it was to do with moving from the left to the right of your brain and switching on, but
Yeah,
that was I had very, very basic knowledge of it, and I wasn't aware
yeah.
that it was more than just your eyes, that you could do it with other things
Yeah,
as well. So
anything, yeah,
fascinating.
anything. The most minute things. Some people just tap the ends of their fingers like a really light sensation, but most people it's kind of eye movements, yeah. But a lot of people like buzzers as well, or doing this means, you can do it online just as effectively as you can in person. So there are loads of ways of doing that side to side. And with children, I don't work with children, but you can do lots of creative stuff, like get them jumping through hoops
Imagine.
or skipping, football. Um, it's really interesting. It was like developed by Francine Shapiro originally when she was out for a walk, and she
Oh
just
wow.
happened to kind of be a psychologist that was thinking all in that way. But it was when she was out side to side movement and noticed that things became less distressing. It's really interesting.
Fantastic. Yeah, that explains so many things. I've sort of seen that the butterfly tap, is it, or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I was thinking like people say like with the walking and everything, things like that. I suppose you sort of
Yeah, it does. It
doing it as you
just
do that.
kind of,
So yeah,
yeah,
that opens up so much. So
yeah.
you might all be doing it, folks, without you even realizing. So there you go.
Often people are, and they'll say, like, oh, I went for a run or I did this and I just felt a bit better. And you're like, yeah, you're doing it. You're kind of allowing that processing to take place a bit. So it's quite a structured, there are like 8 phases to EMDR. It's quite a structured therapy. But the
Yeah.
bit that most people are kind of aware of, if they've heard of it, is the processing bit that with the bilateral stimulation.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Really, really interesting. So obviously, I know it works well with trauma, like you've mentioned, but is there
Yeah.
any other things that are just coming to mind that it could help anybody with?
Yeah, yeah. So, like phobias, it can be really, really helpful with phobias. Things like performance anxiety, like it might be someone who's really healthy and functioning, but gets really nervous talking in a meeting or with a sports performance, something like that.
Yeah,
It can be really helpful with complex trauma. So, lots of difficult childhood stuff, but it's just a longer process. Like with any kind of therapy, working with people who have experienced really difficult childhood stuff, it just takes longer. There's more to be thoughtful of, but there are slight modifications you can do for attachment work. So it can really suit a lot of people with different kind of presentations. Yeah.
fantastic. Oh, that's really, really good. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, what's the favorite part of what you do? What's the best thing about it?
Yeah, I think it's just meeting people. It's like
Yes.
I get to meet so many different people, and all of them have been really brave to come and speak to somebody about really difficult things. And so hearing their stories, but then seeing how they can move on from really difficult things just always takes me aback, It just always
Yeah,
amazes me about what people can manage, how they can recover from things.
absolutely. And half
Yeah.
the time, people don't realize quite how traumatic some of the stuff that they've gone through is because they've seen it as,
No.
well, that's just what my life has been
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, life is really difficult for so many people, isn't it? And it's just, yeah, I think my favorite part is being part of that kind of change that happens for people.
Yeah, yeah, just seeing
Yeah,
that
to be
difference where
okay.
from when they come in to when they leave and they found that
Yeah,
thing that works for them.
yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah, yeah.
So, what do some people misunderstand about what it is that you do? Is there any misunderstandings about
I
EMDR?
think there are a couple of things. So sometimes people have the expectation that it's almost like a magical thing. They're just going to come in and it's going to be done. And even some like real expert people have talked about EMDR in such a positive way, but it sometimes gives the impression that it's just kind of done to you and maybe like 1 or 2 sessions and then things are going to be gone. And it can have remarkable kind of transformative effects for people, but it is hard work. It requires that like commitment and investment in yourself and being able to tolerate some difficult things. And for most things, it is an ongoing therapy. So it is that kind of regular work that you're doing. There are some techniques that can be done quickly that just kind of bring distress down. If you've got like a really intrusive image or something that's really, really troubling you, you can quite quickly kind of reduce that a bit. But as a therapy, as something that's going to make change for somebody, it is an ongoing thing. And so it's difficult because you want to celebrate how amazing it can be, but you also don't want people to think that they're just going to come in and leave a different person with all the bad bits taken out. Does that
Yeah,
sort of make sense? Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just the similar thing with hypnotherapy and the way I sort of see it with a lot of things is we're all like an onion. So as soon as you do one layer, there's another
Yeah.
layer underneath, but
Yeah.
you're in a better position to manage it once you start any form of therapy than
Yeah.
you would have been prior. You can notice it better, but it doesn't
Yeah.
mean that it can't be fixed. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's
life
exactly
is
the
life, isn't it?
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really similar. And it is, I suppose it's unhelpful in a way, that sort of myth that I guess more and more celebrities have been talking about it, or well-known people, which is brilliant in one way because it raises awareness, but it does kind of give this idea of like it's just gonna take the stuff away or just be
Yeah,
really quick. But yeah.
absolutely. And as you know, it's all hard work. Any therapy that you do
Yeah.
physically takes it out of you.
Yeah.
I know there's been times when I've been struggling and I was like, I can't do the therapy now because if I do, it's going
Mm,
to floor me completely. I need to
yeah.
get myself in a bit of a better place before I can then deal with it. So there's all
Yeah.
that as well to take into account with anything
Yeah,
that you do, isn't there?
yeah,
So
yeah. And that's really insightful. And like one of the really important phases of EMDR is preparation. Like it just wouldn't be right to do it when someone's in a crisis or things are really unstable around them. So it is equipping them with the resources and the kind of stability to be able to do it because it can be really, really difficult. But if you can get through that, if you're able to do it, then out the other side is going to be much brighter.
absolutely. And the difference it makes, it
Yeah,
opens the world up to so many possibilities. So
yeah, yeah.
thank you for sharing that. Okay, so what advice would you give to someone that wants to get into the work that you do?
Yeah. I don't know really because I was so lucky I kind of accidentally ended up here. But I think if you're hoping to be an EMDR therapist, check in on the EMDR Association website for the up-to-date like criteria, because there's
Yeah,
quite strict eligibility criteria, which changed a year or two as well. So I don't know, the way that I came in through mental health nursing might be a bit more tricky now. So sort of looking ahead and seeing how you're going to wind your way there might be useful advice, I think, to start with. Um, but otherwise, I think just kind of understanding people and the impact that trauma has and all the different ways that we can support ourselves and other people, just kind of keeping an interest in what's going on, I think.
yeah. And like you said, it's very linked to the NHS, isn't it? EMDR. It's one of the ones
Yeah,
therapies
yeah,
that's
nice
quite
kind of,
approved and used. And
yeah, definitely. It's nice recommended for PTSD, and the NHS are training their own therapists now rather than kind of outsourcing EMDR. So, for all those reasons, that's really, really good. And it's become more sort of scrutinized and not sure what the word is, but that, no, I really don't know what the word is. The word's gone. But it's very like regulated as it should be,
yes,
So
yeah,
looking ahead and thinking about how you might get there and check off the things that you need in order to get suitably trained is a good tip, I think.
fantastic,
Yeah.
brilliant. Thank you so much. So let me have a look. Um, so what makes you personally feel inspired and motivated?
Well, I'm going to say the same thing again, which is a little bit boring, but it really is like talking to people and hearing what they can overcome and how they've done it every day. That makes me just think people are amazing. Like, and it
Yeah,
sounds a bit naff, doesn't it? But it really
absolutely not.
does
No.
motivate me a lot. So in a work way, it's just each person, the story that they have and how they've been able to overcome things that are challenging. And then I suppose like in a more personal way, it's just family and friends and doing the things that I like doing and
Yeah.
making sure I remember to do all of that stuff so that I can go to
Yes.
work and have enough to give other people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. No,
yeah,
I totally agree with that. Yeah, it's that building in that good balance, isn't it, between
yeah.
the work that you do, which you may still love, but also giving yourself that time to
Yeah, yeah,
remember
and
to
it's
do the fun things for you.
Definitely. I think most of us kind of learn that a bit too late, don't you? Kind of,
Yeah,
and then you're like, aha, I need to look after myself to be able to keep helping other people or keep looking after your family. You have got to pay attention to yourself, I think.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're all about well-being here. So
Yeah.
what I want to know from you is, what does well-being mean to you?
Well, I think it's exactly that, what we've just said, that sort of balance between giving to other people and making sure you keep a bit left to sort of take care of yourself. But when my children were much younger, that balance was much harder, I think. You're just torn between trying to be the best mum you can, trying to give everything at work, and just feeling really overwhelmed. And so as they've got older, it's got a bit easier. But I think I've learned to do more things that I like doing as well, so that I can show up a little bit more present and engaging for other people. So yeah, it's taken practice, but feeling less guilty if I go for a little run or go and see a friend or something. I don't feel as guilty about that as I used to. And I think
Yeah,
that keeps me feeling well, keeps me feeling balanced and stuff.
that's I totally agree. I mean, that seems to be a thing across the board. Is so many people feel guilty for doing
Yeah,
something for themselves. Well, I
yeah,
should be
yeah,
doing this. I should be doing that.
yeah,
But you just drain your social battery if you do that. Do you know?
yeah,
That's when you become ill and you're
yeah,
tired and stuff happens. It's like you've got to do those things for you to recharge, to just get yourself in
yeah,
a better place. Because, like you say, you can't be everything for everybody if
yeah.
you're not
No,
you're
I
not
think
all
it
right
takes
yourself.
most of us take a little while to kind of get the hang of that, don't we? Like, I think,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, it's a hard one. It is hard, but now, yeah, I've found it much easier to just go and do those little things without feeling guilty about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I'm exactly the same position, reminding myself all the time. Um, so are there any well-being resources that you can recommend? Any books, podcasts, anything like that that you can recommend to anybody?
Yeah, my favorite ones, I did remember to bring them down. Um, I don't know if you'll be able to see. One's called Tapping In.
Oh,
It's
that sounds
by
amazing.
Laurel Parnell, who she's an EMDR therapist. She's a bit outside of the sort of conventional stuff with some people. So some people in the EMDR community are a bit like, no. But she does tons of really helpful resourcing things. So when we're preparing for EMDR, we do lots of kind of slow tapping, building up resources and connection to positive memories or positive beliefs. And this book is just about things you can do by yourself. It's not EMDR therapy, it's just a resource, just a kind of skill that you can do. So if you're
Fantastic.
feeling anxious or worried about anything, there's a kind of particular thing you can do. It just helps to sort of build those positive connections. And so you can soothe yourself and kind of regulate yourself. And so that's something that I find really helpful. And it's a really cheap old, it's an easy access book. It's easy to
Yeah,
read. It's not something you have to read the whole thing, but just a little tool, like a well-being tool that can be really helpful. And
fantastic.
the other one is called Anchored, and that's a sort of polyvagal one, just different ideas to regulate your nervous system. Similar kind of
Fantastic.
idea, really, when you're starting to get that like anxiety or stress building up, just ideas for kind of grounding and soothing yourself. And I'd be fibbing if I said I did any more than that because they're the things that I remember to do. I've got loads of books, but I don't always read them and I don't always remember to do the tools and the skills in them. But they are ones that I do kind of connect with. In terms of podcasts, I went to a conference last year, a trauma conference in Oxford, and they've done a podcast which is called Mastering Change, and it's just talking to all different kind of people involved in trauma and healing, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
just interesting. It just brings your awareness to all these different kind of ways of looking at people and the world. So it's not really a wellness thing as such, but just something that I do quite like listening to. And then for me, I like to step outside all of that and just listen to something not connected to that. And I like listening to sort of Desert Island Discs or Louis Theroux or something that's just interesting. I suppose it's still being quite curious about people, isn't it? But in a different way. So I think
Absolutely.
sometimes wellness for me is just doing something totally unrelated to work sort of stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I like reading
Especially
novels. That's really my best way of switching
me
off.
too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Literally next to me. That's all my wellness ones are all in my office, and then next to me is
Yeah.
all of my fun reading as I go.
It's really important, isn't it, to leave space for just things that are a bit easier and a bit escapist and just yeah,
Yeah,
switching back from
absolutely.
that a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, the difference that can make as well, just doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you for those recommendations. They sound really interesting. I
Right.
think I'll be looking into those myself as well.
Yeah. Yeah. They are definitely easy ones, easy to just pick up and, remember because there's just so much, isn't there? It does become a bit
Yeah,
overwhelming.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And for anybody watching this, I will pop a slide on the end that has got all this information on. So don't worry about catching it now. You can have a look and it will all be on there for
Mm.
you. So, what's in your well-being toolkit? What do you use to boost your well-being?
Okay, so I go for a run about twice a week when I'm motivated. It doesn't always happen.
Amazing.
And I'm really not a sporty person. I've never been a sporty person. It's not, I don't go out there and just kind of easily go for a run. I have to make myself go and I plod along. But I like being outside. I like listening to the music. And I think the side to side thing is helpful as well in sort of just
Yeah.
sifting through your thoughts. So I try and do that. My new favourite thing is going to the sauna and going for a swim in the sea,
Oh, wow. Wow.
which
Oh, you're
I
very
know.
brave.
Well, I am very proud of myself because normally by this time of year I've chickened out and I'm not in the sea at all, but I have kept it up this year because it's so
See?
nice. I didn't used to like the sauna either because I don't like being too hot. But when you're right next to the sea and you can just keep going in and out, it's such a lovely thing. And I do really come out just feeling all like serene and relaxed. So that's my new favourite thing to be doing. Otherwise, it's just sort of like reading and music and being with my family and making sure I've done those little things for myself so that I want to be with them and we all have fun together rather than kind of being flustered and stressed and things like that. So I think I've already said it probably, but having too many options, I tend to not do them then. So if I stick to the sort
Mm.
of basic, simple things, I know I'm going to probably feel better for it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what I try
I
and do.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. It's like with people with New Year's resolutions and things, try and cram so much in at once. You're
Yeah.
not going to stick to it.
No, and then
You're
you
going to
feel
build it up
bad, don't
bit
you?
by
So
bit.
you just,
Exactly. Yeah, you're telling
yeah,
yourself off. You're just going to
yeah,
build yourself up bit by bit, one thing at a time, get that into a routine, and then add the things in as you
yeah,
go. So yeah, yeah, I understand where you're
yeah,
going.
yeah. I think it's a kind of try it and test it out, and then you know the things that work and just keep doing
Yeah,
those. Like, yeah, yeah. So
exactly.
mine are
Because not
quite
everything goes.
basic. Yeah,
That's great though, because that's what you need, and the simpler they are, the more likely you are to stick to them and to do
yeah,
them, aren't they? And the better
yeah,
it is to boost your well-being. So yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I love it. I love it. So, have you got any new projects coming up or anything else that you want to tell us about that you're up to at the moment?
I have, yeah. I've just started this year, as well as sort of weekly therapy for people. I've started offering EMDR intensives, which is where you sort of
Okay.
come for 1 or 2 or 3 days without interruption and just kind of keep going until you get the work
Wow.
done. So it is intense. It's in the name and it is intense. It is exhausting. It might not be suitable for everybody. But a lot of people find those weekly kind of things difficult to factor into their life sometimes, but also that sort of when you get to the end and you're like, oh, really, there's just more. And so ending it can sometimes feel really disruptive. So the idea with this is that you just kind of have a whole day or 2 or 3 days to reach your goal. And it is really thoughtfully paced. So we have breaks for kind of moving and eating and drinking and being outside. So it's not horrendous, but it does ask a lot of somebody. But for a lot of people, that works better for them. So I'm really pleased to be able to kind of have that alternative to traditional
Yeah.
weekly things. So being in Falmouth, that's a lovely, lovely place to be. So for people that are
Yeah.
local, it's easy. but it's also really appealing, I think, for people from outside of the local area to come and have a treat and step outside of normal life and, have a kind of break with it. So yeah, I'm excited
Yes.
about being able to do that as well.
That sounds amazing. I have had people when I originally launched my wellbeing group that have asked me, is there any
Yeah,
like little retreat things that have got
yeah,
some kind of therapy built in? And I've not really known where to
yeah,
direct people. So this is amazing.
yeah.
I can now say, oh yes, I know where you can go.
Yeah, and there are some real retreats where you can go and it's like the whole thing is a big package. And that was my original idea. When I started to think about it, I thought there are so many kind of complications with having more than one person in a thing.
Yeah,
it can just get a bit tricky in terms of safety and looking after people. So I've just brought it right back down. But it is really appealing, I think, for people to be able to come and really dedicate that time and just work through the things that they want to. So yeah,
definitely,
it's
definitely.
suitable for anything that EMDR is suitable. You can usually do in that format. I suppose what tends to work best in my experience is something like a phobia or an anxiety or a sort of single event where you're more likely to be able to work through it all in that time frame. If somebody's coming with lots and lots of childhood or attachment trauma, it's just more complicated, and that probably
Yeah,
is better suited to a kind of weekly pacing because you need that person to have time. But lots of things really work well in an intensive format. So yeah, it's an exciting one.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And sometimes as well, once you've started some kind of therapy, your body and mind are then ready to just get it
Yeah,
done
just
and
want
to
to
deal
do
with
it.
it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, people sometimes do get frustrated, and I feel my own frustration when you're in an hour session and something really important's just happened, or you've had a really
yeah.
important shift, and then you're like, anyway, see you in a week's
See you in a
time.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels a bit difficult sometimes. So this kind of is a good alternative to that.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. That really is. And
Yeah.
you regular one-to-one sessions, are they all in person or do you do some online as well? How
I
does
do
that
some
work?
online, yeah. Much more in person. It's probably about 90% in person. And that's just, I think, the person's preference. I prefer being with someone in the space, but it
Yeah.
works just as well as online. You can either do it with tap in like that, or there's a like a really simple computer program thing that I use where just a kind of graphic moves from one side to the other and people follow
All
that.
right.
And we started doing that before COVID, thinking this isn't going to work. Like, if you're not in the same place, I don't see how this is going to work. And it did. It's just as effective. It's just up to the
Yeah.
person if they prefer to be, together in the same space. But yeah, so online is a really good option for people where travel's difficult or they're not in the same location.
So we have had
Yeah.
the weather that we've had at the moment.
I know, but I couldn't do anything in the storm because we had no internet, no nothing. And it did make you think, like, oh, this is tricky. Everything's kind of shut down. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
But generally, when the world is normal, it works just as well online.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. I just thought I'd ask that one because I know there'll be a
Yeah,
few people that'll be wondering.
yeah.
So, is there anything that we haven't covered that you'd like to say, either around well-being or about what you do or anything
Yeah.
else in general?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Um, I think I've said all the things I wanted to say about EMDR, how amazing it can be. I could talk a really long time about it because I am so enthusiastic about it and the difference that it can make for people. So no, I don't think there is anything else, but thank you.
Thank you so much for coming along and sharing this with us because, as I say, it has been heavily requested that I speak to
Oh,
somebody who deals with EMDR. So
yeah,
I've
no, I'm
answered all of you
happy,
now.
really happy to. Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been really
Thank you for
nice.
coming. And I'll
Thanks.
pop Emma's details all on the end of this. So go over, check her Facebook page out, leave her some love, leave some comments because that helps every business. So please do all of that. And yeah, feel free to reach out to Emma. And yeah, thank you
Yeah,
so much
lovely.
again.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
Amanda. Thank
And
you.
I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.